Today, let's get started with
Conor McGregor says he is currently in negotiations with the UFC for a new contract, claiming his old deal is no longer valid due to the end of the pay-per-view model.
But I'm warming up now for the White House fight.
Are you gonna see the president?
They gotta
be there. Cool.
I'm going to be at it, yeah, for sure. It's
What
going to be
is that?
insane, the White House card is going to be. Going to negotiations with the Ultimate Fighting Championship in February, and I'm very interested to go. They've actually got a new deal with Paramount. It's worth $7.7 billion, so the company has 4x its profit. And my contract essentially is void right now because there's no more pay-per-view. Whereas my contract was based on pay-per-view sales. I'm the highest generating pay-per-view fighter of all time. I hope the pay-per-view system is done. I'm due a new contract, so we're going to negotiations in February, and I'm very interested to see how it goes. And what am I doing for it? I'm focusing on what I can control. I'm in the gym. I'm living in the gym. Focusing on my health. Focusing on my rest. Listening to my coaches. Following the game plan. External noise is non-existent to me. I don't absorb it. You know, you might be aware of it, but you don't let it seep in.
Yeah.
My internal dialogue strong. Here, you know, I'm showing the kids, showing my team what it takes. You've got to live it. You've got to live and breathe it.
Islam Makhachev appears interested in defending his welterweight title against Michael Morales. Speaking with Match TV, Islam reacted to Topology, briefly adding and then removing a loss from Morales' record. Islam said, "Morales was not defeated a few days ago, but today he's undefeated again? I don't know how they removed it. I saw the cage fight, he got choked out, and then they announced it was an exhibition match. Well, then he needs to be choked out again, and that's going to happen." Francis Ngannou dropped streamer IShowSpeed during a recent interaction after Speed asked about fighting.
I heard that you were looking for me.
Yeah, I'm looking for you.
What about?
I'm trying to learn how to box.
Ah, okay. Then you was going to say you want to box.
I want to learn how to fight.
You want to learn how to fight?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Like for real?
For real.
Because he hurt.
I know.
Really?
Yes. Ah! Ah! Ah!
That's a little bit what it looks like. That's a little bit what it feels like. I can take your medicine, you cannot take mine.
One day, I will get my revenge, okay?
Okay, what do you mean?
Alex Pereira posted footage showing himself inside the tire shop where he used to work, with a tire in the background that had "Next Jones" written on it. Jon Jones responded with a video of his own.
I've beat a lot of legends from your country, my friend. I know you'd love to avenge the boys, but boy, would you be a good one to add to my list. Be careful what you wish for. Chamba.
Shortly after, Khamzat Chimaev responded in the comments, writing, "Brother, leave him to me." Merab Dvalishvili revealed that the UFC told him his Trilogy fight with Petr Yan will not take place at the White House. Merab said, "The UFC told me I'm next for the belt. They said there will be a trilogy between me and Yan." He added, "They also told me that our fight will not happen at the White House in June because Yan is Russian, and that's impossible." Paddy Pimblett revealed that before the Justin Gaethje interim title fight was finalized, he had been training for Ilia Topuria.
Like he pulled out that Islam fight with a bad back when really he just couldn't make weight, and then he got offered to fight Gamrot and said no, and then took the most favourable matchup possible, Dan Hooker, who can't grapple, to save his man's life.
He looked good though, didn't he? He looked good in that fight.
But lad, an amateur in here could look good against Dan Hooker. You know what I mean? Someone in here who can actually do jiu-jitsu would look good against Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker doesn't know how to do jiu-jitsu. He's a banger. Give him his due, lad. I like watching him fight. He's a scrapper. That's all he is. He can't do jiu-jitsu, lad. He's bad at jit, and he nearly guillotined him. That just shows how bad Arman's grappling is to me.
Justin Gaethje says Arman Tsarukyan is responsible for his own situation with the UFC.
I mean, Tsarukyan is definitely probably more, deserving, but the guy up multiple times. And there's just something you cannot do, he was going to fight for the belt. He pulled out the night before, because he couldn't make weight, or, I don't think that any of us are privy to what actually happened that night. I don't know why he got, why he pulled out of the card or why he didn't fight. And I don't think any of us are 100% sure why that didn't happen, but I know he didn't, it does not make the UFC happy. especially if it's not like if it's a serious injury, then obviously there's nothing they can do about it. But if it's, they're propping you up to fight this big fight and then you can't make weight, like that's a huge problem. It's something that you cannot do in the sport at the highest level. They put a lot of money, a lot of time, resources into these fights and promoting these fights. And then if you it up like that, they're going to be pissed off. And then he headbutts Dan Hooker, on the scale. That's also something you cannot do. That he risked also losing another fight the day before the big fight, where they put all this promotion, all these resources into propping up this fight. And so, I mean, with it being the first fight on Paramount, I think, why, if you're a huge company, why would you take a chance like that? So, I mean, that's ultimately why we're here. If it wasn't Paddy and me, it was going to be me and Arman. But, time will tell.
Derrick Lewis is set to face Waldo Cortez Acosta at UFC 324 and says he feels in the best shape of his life after UFC provided him with peptides that have made a significant difference in his preparation.
Shit, I ain't gonna even lie to you. I'm in the best shape of my life right now. Mentally, physically, everything's going great right now. Perfect. The UFC provided me with some great peptides, and I've been taking it every day, and I've been feeling the difference.
That's that regenerate stuff. You do feel better, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, I was so proud of Derrick today. Dude, he was a freaking video game yesterday.
Yeah.
He was a video game. He was responding, so his mental clarity, I'm not just saying this, mental clarity was on. So I'd make a call or an adjustment, he would do it immediately. His recovery was stupid. Yeah, so he did his 3 5s, and then, generally on Fridays, it's the lightest day. He'll go into strength and conditioning after that, but he wanted to do some heavy bag work after, and I was like, please, let's go. And I was really mind blown how quickly the peptides took effect. It's going to be a game changer for him.
Jon Anik says he's hoping to see at least 4 to 5 title fights at White House card.
So speaking of the UFC White House card, right, in June, if you had to matchmake any, pair, who would you make the main event on that card?
So I think you probably got to do the heavyweight championship. We got to see Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane again. I know a lot of fans want to see Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira. I think it remains to be seen as to whether or not that fight will actually happen. I think you go Petr Yan, Merab Dvalishvili in the co-main event for the bantamweight title. I am hopeful that we get 4 or 5 undisputed titles on the White House lawn June 14th, and hopefully God hears those words. We'll see.
Joe Rogan criticized the UFC's business model and fighter pay on a recent episode of the JRE. Joe said that if he were running the UFC, he would pay fighters more, eliminate the cage, and change the structure of fights entirely. He explained that the cage allows fighters to stand up too easily and said fights should take place on mats in the middle of a basketball court, with each round starting from the same position as the previous one.
Before we continue, help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers here on MMA Explorers. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notification so you don't miss any of our daily MMA content.
You didn't earn.
Right,
you never got back up. I think they should put them right back to where they were at the end of the round, because it's one fight. It's not 5 fights.
Right.
So if you start it standing up at the beginning of each round, that's a new fight.
Yeah, right.
In a way,
though,
it's at least a new
what
aspect.
you're pitching, how quickly would the UFC go out of business?
Real quick.
30 seconds they're on the ground, and then it's 24 and a half minutes.
Dude, I'm a terrible businessman. I would give the fighters more money. I would fuck up the whole business model. I would get rid of the cage. I would have them all fight in a basketball court. Just put mats on the ground in the basketball court. I don't think you should have a cage. I think the cage gets in the way. It becomes a way to get back up, because you press your back up against the cage. You can use it to stand back up again. And you're in the middle of the center of a mat. It's very difficult to get back up. And that's realistic.
Let's wrap it up for the day. Thanks for watching.